Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sad day indeed. It's the last day of October, which means it's also the last day of our EGX Indie Extravaganza month for the year of 2018. But don't worry, we thought we'd leave you with a treat. So here's not just one, but two interviews from some of the best indie games from EGX 2018 back to back. They are obviously inappropriate content and Sketchtown Showdown. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's EGX, it's day one, and it's Games Up podcast. We are here on the show floor, as we do traditionally every year, at the Resd booth with all of our wonderful indie games. And our first interview this year is Shane of Last Life Games. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How's EGX treating you?
So, yeah, it's a very exciting experience for me. It's actually the first time I'm showcasing my game, obviously inappropriate content here. So it's a very exciting experience, but I'm super exhausted, to be honest.
I can imagine it's quite an intense thing doing this for 4 days, and we're only on day 2.
Yeah.
So obviously inappropriate content caught my eye on the EGX website quite early on, because it's got a very striking art style. It's got a very striking piece of key art that you guys have up here, which makes it very clear that it's all about censorship.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us the USP of your game? What is obviously inappropriate content?
So basically the game is about game censorship. So it's been inspired by Papers, Please and Metal Slug. So the story is you are a game tester. You live in some fictional authoritarian country, and your job is to play test a game which is under development, and you have to find all the inappropriate content in the game.
So I've not had a chance to play it yet, but I've watched quite a few people, and it seems to me that the gameplay loop, as it were, is you play a level, then you go through what you've played and find the things that need to be censored within it, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
How do you balance making it not just one of those games? Like if you're going through a shooter level, how do you balance not just making it a shooter simulator or whatever game it is? How have you found that balancing act?
So basically, I would like the shooting part of the game being fun to play, but also I need to design what kind of sensitive content could be censored in that level. So, which is quite interesting thing because you'll never know what you're gonna meet during the progress of the level design. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the whole game design progress is really, really interesting. And also I have to do a lot of playtests in order to balance the pace of the game. Also, I need to balance the difficulty level of the game to make it more accessible while interesting.
Of course, yeah. So, how far have you gone in making something that has to be censored? What's the worst thing you've put in this game?
So for now, we have a demo. It's pretty much 20 minutes gameplay. So for now, you can only censor the F word in the game.
Okay.
But later, you're going to censor some sort of like nudities, some sort of blood, also strong languages, or even more, I say, abstract things.
So all you wonderful people at home, if you're into all the stuff that Australia hates, like nudity and fucks, this is a cool game. This is a cool game for you.
Oh yes, thank you. But I just wish they will allow me to sell that game in Australia.
Have you had much trouble?
Not yet, but by fingers crossed.
Okay. So you say that the game is very clearly about game censorship. Let me ask you a kind of difficult question. Are you trying to make a statement with the game, or is it just something that you want to kind of play with?
I think because in the real world there could be lots of censorship rules running on. Mm-hmm. So first, actually, I found some of the rules really, really absurd and really, really funny. Mm-hmm. But also, I think the game censorship could be something. I think the game censorship could make some sort of social impact.
Okay.
Because basically. Because in the real life, there are some countries that are adopting really strict censorship rules, which could result in very absurd results. For example, you can't have like blood in the game. Mm-hmm. You can't have skeletons in the game, which makes the whole thing ridiculous. So also, I think the main reason of the game censorship would be like to protect children, but in the end, it becomes some sort of universal rules which could affect everybody. So that's what I'm going to express in the story.
So let me ask you this. Is this the first game that Last Life... what was it? Last Life...
Last Life Left.
Last
Game
Life
Studio.
Left. I thought it was Last Life Remaining, but that doesn't make any sense. It's obviously Last Life Left. So is this the first game that this studio has made?
Oh yes, but personally I have made lots of small projects, indie games before, so I got a little bit of experience on this.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty much probably the time for me to start making a commercial title, and I wish to release it on Steam or even on console or on mobile platform.
Are there any consoles that you're particularly interested in?
As long as I could pass their censorship progress, I think I'll be fine.
So as long as your game about censorship doesn't get too heavily censored,
Yes.
you should be okay then.
Fingers crossed.
Awesome. So, for my wonderful people at home, where should we find you? Where can we find the game? Where can we find more information?
Yeah, so currently I have released the demo of the game on itch.io. So if you go to itch.io and search obviously inappropriate content, you'll find the game, you'll find the project,
Very
and
cool.
you'll download the demo. And also please do leave a review if you find the game interesting or if you have something to say.
And
I
then
would
are you
really
on
appreciate it.
And then are you on social media?
Oh yes, so the Twitter is OIC the game.
Okay, very nice. So that's itch.io for the demo. Shout outs, by the way, for making a demo in 2018. Good on you. And OIC the game on Twitter. That was our first interview. What a wonderful one to start with. And we'll go on elsewhere. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Mobile games have been increasing their amount on the show floor year by year, but I just played a kind of mobile game that I've never played before and isn't limited to mobiles either. So hello, how are you?
Hello there. Pretty good.
Good. Introduce yourself and tell us about your game here.
So I'm Babis. I'm the programmer part of Sketchdown Showdown. It's a game that you play on your phone, and what you do with it is you draw.
So Sketchtown Showdown immediately caught my eye because I love the Jackbox party games. I love Drawful. I love Drawful 2, and the idea of being able to stand on the EGX show floor and play an indie version of it was really lovely. But it turns out that Sketchtown Showdown is much more than that. So tell us what Sketchtown Showdown is and how you play it.
So we were first inspired by a lot of the PlayLink games, but we saw like using your phone is such a cool idea, but nobody ever took advantage of the drawing. There was some decorative drawing going on, but nothing that interacted with stuff. So we really wanted to make something like that, and something that would appeal to families, party gamers. So obviously, with our obvious inspiration of Frantix and Jackbox, we set out to make something similar, and we made our own little unique thing.
Mhm.
So we use drawing in 3 different ways. 1, completely decoration, and that's when you build your character, things like that. 2, to interact with the physics system, which you get all crazy type of hijinks. And 3, think expression? Yeah, self-expression.
That was something that caught my eye immediately, is that in Sketchtown Showdown, you're not just using the thing to draw a funny picture or this, that, the other. You're actually kind of creating the game to some extent as you go. We played an example where you have to draw a ramp, a kind of ski ramp, I suppose, for a character to fly off. But you have to alter the angles, and you have to be careful about how high or low you're going, and this, that, the other. I really, really like that idea. I thought it was a total kind of variation on what you might think of for these kind of games. So you said when we talked earlier that you were planning to ultimately have up to 9 games.
Yes.
What do you think is the most unique one that you've got in up your sleeve?
Well, the 3 minigames that you saw have been built upon the bones of tens of minigames. So they all have a bit of a unique twist. My favorite one was where the players draw their own weapons, and then those weapons will be determined what kind of properties they have.
Okay.
And they will fight with those weapons. And, of course, use the physics system, so it's completely unpredictable and crazy.
So the other thing about Sketchtown Showdown is it kind of mimics Mario Kart in that there isn't just a winner, there's a winner and certain achievements, and there's a map, and there's ultimately an objective to get to. This feels like a much more kind of fleshed out game than you might immediately think of at first. How long do you expect people to be playing this when they pick it up for?
So our eventual vision is it's something that people will come back to. That, for example, the person who does win ultimately will actually be in the center of the town as the mayor, and we want people to come back and be like, oh, hey, it's still Uncle who's the mayor. Let's go to the cinema and try and defeat his high score, or let's go to the beach. Have their favorite places in the game.
So effectively, what you're aiming to create here is family rivalries.
Pretty much, yeah.
Excellent.
Get some laughs, get some energy. expressed.
Really break apart those relationships there. How long has Sketch Time been in development for?
So it's only been in development for about 6 weeks,
Okay.
with 4 of those weeks being intense hot housing in the Abertay University,
Right.
and 2 of those weeks being just us being like, hey, what should we do now? So it's been super short. We started, unlike a lot of other Dare teams, we literally begun with the idea, nothing else.
Okay.
But I think we really stuck close to what we wanted to achieve. And while it's not super polished, it does achieve what we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just told me before we started this that this is your first EGX.
Yes. it
Hello,
is.
welcome. How are you finding it?
Overwhelming.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's so big.
This is the biggest EGX I've ever seen by quite a mile, and it's really cool to have found your game in and among it. How does it feel to be like on display, like 5 minutes from Kingdom Hearts and like 20 seconds from Worms? And
I think the first day was unbelievable. I'm kind of getting used to it now. I'm like, one of the guys. And I'm really loving the fact that our pass lets us skip the queues. So I'm kind of focusing on the practicalities. It's great.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna develop.
Yeah,
a
just
game.
make a small game.
Yeah.
Then you can just conquer the area. It's amazing.
4 weeks in a totally different university, just working really hard. That's
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, it's like no pay, no food apart from pizza. It's fine.
Everyone likes pizza. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us. If people wanted to see more about Sketchtown Showdown, where can they find it or you?
Where can they find us? On all our social media. Kaishin Games at Facebook. It is Kaishin Games at Twitter. It is Kaishin Games on Instagram, I think. No,
There's a shaking of the head. It's
not
not
yet.
Asian Games.
Not yet. There will be. Now we have pictures.
Oh, okay, so it will be.
Yeah, so on all our social media, and yeah. And I'm pretty sure Dare Academy will be publishing some of our stuff as well.
So keep an eye on Abertay University's Dare Academy and Kaishin Games on Facebook, Twitter, and soon to be on Instagram. This was genuinely a pleasure. Thank you guys very much. That was really fun.
Thank you for interviewing us.
Thanks. So that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps us up for another year. Huge thank yous to the games that we interviewed, to all the games that we interviewed and all the creators we interviewed and everyone we chatted to. The indies really do make EGX just as good as it is. We look forward to next year when we'll be doing this all over again, and until then, you can catch us every Monday at 6:30 right here on this channel. Till then, the game's up.